Unsolved.
The Zodiac Killer Case. Leigh Allen and Don Cheney, Part 3. In this video, we take a look at 4 different things. First, where Don Cheney lived in the 1960s, and then a little bit about Don Cheney and Leigh Allen's friendship, and then a little bit about Ralph Spinelli, and then we end on another handwriting comparison. So let the video begin. Don Cheney got married on September 8, 1962 in Pomona, California, in Southern California. And they had their first child, Heather, on December 1st, 1963 in San Bernardino County, Southern California. And then they had their second child, Kevin, in 1965 in San Francisco. And then here's the telephone directory for September 1965. And then here's the telephone directory for 1967 when they moved to Concord, California, in Northern California. And then here's a map showing you that it takes 17 minutes to get from where Cheney used to live to Lake Herman Recreation Area and the route that he would take. And you can see he would go north on that 680 and exit on Lake Herman Road. And Don Cheney said, when we were in Morro Bay with a friend Norm down there. So he's talking about visiting Leigh Allen in Morro Bay with Norm. And then when questioned, how about hunting, fishing, outdoor activities? Cheney said, we did all of that. Did some fly fishing and hunting. Was that Leigh pretty skilled at? Did he have some skill in those areas? Well, I saw him catch some trout with a fly rod. Leigh and myself had been out in the outboard boat on Comanche Reservoir at Valley Springs.
In 1967, 68, 69, I owned a couple of nightclubs in Solano County, California. One in Vallejo and one in Fairfield, California. I was also involved in criminal activity at the time and was getting some unfavorable press.
Here's some of the unfavorable press that Spinelli was getting, but this was in 1970 and 1971. Extradition papers served. Spinelli denies guilt on charge. Saloon owner arrested again. New trial date given. Bar owners, 4 others, bound over for trial. 5 plead in sex suit. Fairfield Saloon license revoked. Crazy Horse saloon owner held on warrant. Warrants issued for 2 men.
I said, Ralph Spinelli, you want to see me? He says, yeah, I'm Leigh Allen. And I looked at him, just blank, and said, help me out here, Leigh. Who are you? He reminded me of the incident back in 1958. And, he expressed his gratitude that we never filed charges against him in 1958, and how solid and stand-up guys he thought we were. Okay, Leigh, I'm really kind of busy. What is it that you want? Well, something to the effect, and I can only paraphrase now, but certainly the gist of the conversation, and this is what he had to say to me, was, I can provide a service for your friends, and then take the heat off of you guys. And what are you talking about? Well, I can, there's things I could do up to and including killing someone. He said, I'm Zodiac. And he didn't say, I'm the Zodiac. He said, I'm Zodiac. I can kill these people, and I can kill people and take credit for it. Then he said, I will prove I'm telling you the truth. I'll kill someone in San Francisco and you'll know it's me. After Paul Stein, he came to see me again with, I told you, you believe me now. And my response was, I do believe you now.
So it's hard to determine what to make out of this. On Leigh Allen's job application, it listed Ted Kidder, and it also had Philip Tucker somewhere. He worked with them. In 1969, a Philip Tucker of the Greater Vallejo Recreation District indicated that Allen, who was a close friend of his, often talked about the Zodiac case. Tucker indicated that Allen had previously talked about shooting with special sights for shooting in the dark. Tucker indicated that he saw the Zodiac symbol at Allen's house and also some type of cryptograms. Wow, look at him. Doesn't he look like the Zodiac Killer sketch? So here's a different job application after he was fired and lost that teaching job position. And you can compare the numbers on these ones. So on the car door and on Leigh's job application. Here's another look at it. And it has a phone number in the center. So you can compare those numerals also with the car door. Okay, and then to check the handwriting, we have this sample of the Zodiac's handwriting compared to Leigh's job application. And they both share the word Vallejo, so you can compare those words. And then to end the video, in 2002, the police tested the Zodiac letter and found partial DNA under a stamp that did not match Allen's. Also, the palm print on the envelope and fingerprint on the blood did not match Arthur Leigh Allen's. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and I'll see you next week with a Zodiac episode about Dave Seawater and the Seawater family and Leigh Allen.